continue from before, we got 112 boys at a baseball camp, 68 are not American. So that's going to be 68 over 112. Well, our only other option is American. So this is not American. And American. All that's going to be is 112 minus 68. And that's going to be 44. So we got 68 over 112 not American and 44 over 112 are American. The question is asking us, what is the probability of choosing an American out of this group of boys if one boy is chosen at random? So we're just going to say, hey, we got these guys here. I'm just going to pick one. What is the probability that one of them is American? Well, we have 44 over 112. That's the probability, but we have to reduce that. So it's going to end up being, and I believe that should reduce to, 22 over, 66? And that's going to reduce again, let's say 11 over 33. And that is going to reduce to 1/3. Now let me just double check my math on that to make sure I'm 100% right. Let me double check myself here. I apologize. That's going to be 44. I'm glad I checked. 44 over 112 is the equivalent to 22 over 56. So forgive me there. And again, that will reduce to 11 over 28. Okay. 11 over 28. So that is the probability that we will pick an American out of that group of boys at random. Forgive my error there. Fans were chosen at random and asked what their favorite football team was. The results are below. Estimate the probability of each of the questions, numbers 8 through 11. The easiest thing to do when you have something like this, the probability of the whole, is just to go ahead and add all these numbers up. Okay, and you're going to end up with 62. 16 plus 12 plus 28 plus 4, just take my word on it, is 62. So we have a total of 62. Now it's asking, what is the probability a fan chose the Colts? Well, we have two Colts. We have 2 over 62 here, which is the same as 1 over 31. What is the probability a fan chose the Falcons? Well, we have 16 over 62, and that's going to reduce to 8 over 31, and that will not reduce any further. Answer is 8 over 31. What is the probability a fan chose the Titans or the Saints? Now remember, when we see or, we have to add up the probabilities to get the probability of either or. So what I'm saying is, hey, what is the probability that a fan is either going to be a Titan fan or a Saint fan? The combination of the two. And the Titans is going to be 12 over 62. And the Saints is going to be 28 over 62. And we're going to add those up. And remember, when we add fractions, we don't add the bottom, so that remains 62. And this is going to be 40. And that's going to reduce to 20 over 31. That is the answer to number 10. And finally, number 11, a fan chose any team other than the Saints or the Falcons. Any team other than the Saints or the Falcons. So I've got to add up the Titans, the Bears, and the Colts and see what the probability of picking one of those up, because that is, in fact, any team other than the Saints or the Falcons. Okay? So I've got the Titans right here, which is 12 over 62. I've got the Bears, and I've got the Colts. 12 plus 4 is 16, plus 2 is 18 over 62. That's going to reduce to 9 over 31, and that will not reduce. The answer here is 9 31s. Now, number 12. Alex spoke to 30 men who exercise 6 hours a week, 11 who exercise 5 hours, 12 who exercise 4 hours, and 10 who exercise between 0 and 4 hours per week. Estimate the probability that the next person he talks to exercises 5 or more. All right, so that's going to be a combination of 5 and 6. All right, well, we have to find the total number of men that Alex spoke to. So here we've got 30 plus 11 plus 12 and plus 10. And that is going to equal 63. So it's going to be something over 63, and then if we can reduce that, we will. And I'm just going to check my work with a calculator here. 30 plus 11 plus 12 plus 10, and that is going to be 63. Now, estimate the probability that the next person he talks to exercises 5 or more hours. Well, that we have to include the 11 and the 30. That's 41 over 63. And we've used that probability to find out, hey, what is the probability that the next guy we talk to exercises 5 or more, based on what we've learned here, based on what we did before. 41 over 63. Find the probability of each event using a dice. Excuse me, using 2 dice. I apologize. So, what is the probability of rolling 2 6s? Well, we have to multiply the probability, because basically this is an and question, and when we have and, we multiply the probabilities. In other words, what is the probability of rolling a 6 and another 6? Well, what is the probability of rolling 1 6? What is the probability of rolling 1 6? This is an and, so we're going to multiply. That's going to be 1 over 36. Remember, we had 2 dice. What is the probability of rolling a total of 12? Well, if we think about it, there's only one way that we can roll a 12, and that's rolling 2 6s. But there are a total of 36 possibilities. Remember the little chart we gave? We had 6 here and 6 here, and there were a total of 36 possibilities. So instead of this being 1 out of 12, it's going to be 1 out of 36. Probability of rolling a total of 1. Well, you cannot, it is impossible to roll 2 dice and get a total of 1. The lowest total you can get is 2. Therefore, the probability of this is 0. What is the probability of rolling 2 odd numbers? In other words, what is the probability of rolling an odd number and an odd number? This is an and question, so we are going to multiply. Well, the probability of rolling an odd number is 1/2. The probability of rolling an odd number is 1/2. The probability of rolling an odd number and an odd number is multiplication. This is 1 over 4. (17) A bag has 18 red, 3 blue, and 1 yellow marble in it. How many orange marbles need to be added so that the probability of drawing a blue marble is 1/8? Well, we have 3 blue. So in order for that probability to be 1/8, it would need to be 3 over 24. Excuse me, it would need to be 3 over something equals 1/8, because we would have to reduce it, right? Well, the equivalent of 1/8 with a 3 as a numerator is 3 over 24. And then we would reduce that and get 1/8. Well, right now we have a total. In other words, we would have to have a total of 24 marbles in the bag. Well, right now we have 18. We've got the 3 blue and the 1 yellow for a total of 21, 22. Well, we're 2 short, so we're going to have to add 2 orange marbles to the total so we can have a total of 3 over 24, which is 1 over 8. Answer is 2. What is the probability of rolling 3 dice and all 3 of them landing on an odd number? Again, this is going to be an and question. The probability of rolling a dice and getting an odd number, and an odd number, and an odd number. Well, the probability of an odd number is 1/2. The probability of an odd number is 1/2. The probability of an odd number is 1/2. We're not going to add these, obviously, because that would be 1.5, and there's never any such thing as a probability of over 1. So we're going to multiply here for 1 over 8. More to come.